Bitcoin was not able to hold above the 72,000, and now it lost its momentum and is going back down towards the lower 68,000. So will it hold? Are we going to see it go down even more? Well, let's talk about it in today's video. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And yes, 2 days ago, we had the highest fear and greed index. The number went from 10 on March 4 all the way to 22 on March 5th. We more than doubled the fear and greed index. And this, of course, was due because Bitcoin went all the way to the $73,500. But you can see right here, we were not able to hold this right here. So now that we are here, are we going to hold? Are we going to go down more? Well, if we switch to the daily, you can see that we are testing the halfway of the Bollinger where we have some moving averages, the VWAP, whatever you're using. All of these, they seem to be converging around this point between the 67.5 all the way to the 68.5. So this 1,000 points right here will let us know if we're going to lose that momentum and keep going down or not, because the RSI is bullish. The RSI is looking upwards on the daily. But right here, you can see the market is pretty much sideways. Even though the Bollinger has been going up, the market has been going sideways with this little bump right here, which was the $73,000. So we have to keep an eye on this. Of course, this is the weekend, so very, very low liquidity and very, very low volatility. Maybe next week we're going to see if we're going to keep going, and this would have marked the bottom at $60,000. So whoever bought right here, congratulations, you did a very, very good buy. So most likely next week, we should see a clear direction of where this all is going to go. For Ethereum, it looks almost the same. Ethereum was able to stay above the 2100, but just for a little bit. Then it crashed hard towards the mid 1900s. So right now we're waiting to see how it behaves. Of course, here on the daily, it also shows a little bit of a positive RSI going from 18 to right now 44 from this to this right here, but we have to see how it does. If you remember, we have Bollinger Bands going very, very narrow right here. Usually means that the price will go explosively towards one side or the other, or maybe towards one side and then tank towards the other, like we saw right here. A little bit of a bottleneck, then we went up and then crashed a lot. So we could see this again right here, or we could see the opposite. We could see Ethereum going down a little bit towards the 1800s and then boom, up towards the 2700, who knows. Solana is a little bit more of the same. So we can jump straight to CoinMarketCap to see our currencies and our prices. If we start with Bitcoin at 68,086, then we have Ethereum with 1988. We then have BNB at 628, XRP 137. We have Hyperliquid at $30, almost $31, Monero at 350, and then we can go look for a Zcash all the way at the 209. Looking at the fear and greed index again, as we said, and with the camera up here, we went from a 10 to a 22, but now we are again back at 12 because that momentum didn't last long. So that momentum got everyone very, hey, this could be happening. This could have been the bottom, and now we're going back up. But that didn't last long, and people lost interest very, very fast, as we can see. So you might also be noticing that everyone in crypto, so CT, if you are following CT, not only YouTube, a lot of people are shifting from crypto because crypto has been not only boring, but also unprofitable. So if you are seeing these changes, that is a clear sign of a bear market. When people lose interest, people go somewhere else. And even I started talking way more about vibe coding, AI, all these sorts of things. But because with my strategy, which you know my strategy is selling options for income, my strategy strives on a higher IV scenario. Doesn't mean that I won't trade, but because right now we have explosions of IV because of the war, because of Trump, because of macro and geopolitical things, it is hard for me to find a good opportunity without risking a lot of money and risking my personal money, which if you have tried to trade with your money being very important because you don't have millions of dollars, you know how hard it is to trying to commit when you have money to lose. What I'm trying to do is keep an eye on the markets. Whenever I see a huge IV spike that I can sell a vertical spread on, it can be selling calls or selling puts, then I take that chance and I open if it makes sense. So low risk, low rewards, but It keeps compounding over the time. If I don't have these windows, then I don't trade. It is simple as that. It is better for you to not trade and avoid getting liquidated or avoid getting smashed with a -4% or -3, -2%, than for you to try chase numbers just because you want to be trading active and say, hey, I am an active trader. I am trading every day. No, that does not make sense. So you can even see that right here on Bitopex that we haven't traded for a few days now, and that is normal. Being able to hold is better than being able to trade every day. You don't want to do that because that lowers your Sharpie ratio, that lowers your accuracy because you're going to be trying to emotionally trade. Hey, I think this is going to happen, and you're going to be speculating more than you would like. So for people that we've seen on Twitter, we've seen on Telegram, we've seen on Discord, people saying, hey, are you guys done? Are you guys closing the vaults or the copy trading? No, we're not. It is better for us to just hold, test other strategies in the meantime. So if you find another strategy that thrives in the sorts of market, then we apply that. We don't want to just trade because we need to trade to make you more money. No, we need to not trade to protect your money. So this is what we're doing. Hopefully you guys understand what's going on behind the scenes. But we have Sven, which is the CEO, training models to make sure we find the best strategy for this market scenario. And whenever we have more news, we're going to talk about it right here, but also on the Telegram where you can talk to Sven from inside the TG as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much. Have a very good weekend. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for another video. Take care.